What Izzo? Welcome to Izzo Math. Now we're going to be talking about the graph of the sine and the cosine. So the first thing we're going to look at here is the graph of the sine. And so we first have to figure out really what that's talking about. So let's say we have a function, and our function is f of x equals sine of x. Alright? So let's make a table first. So let's say here's x. Here's the sine of x. So let's say when x is 0, what's the sine of 0? Well, when x is 0, that means that I either have, well, let's say we're in radian, so my radian measure is 0, so that's the sine of 0. So I'm here. So what is the y coordinate when I'm there? Well, the y coordinate here is 0. Okay? Let's go to our next nice angle. Let's say we're at pi. Let's just go to power 4. So we're at power 4. So power 4 is going to be right in there. So what is the y coordinate at power 4? Well, my y coordinate, sine of pi over 4, is root 2 over 2. Okay? Now let's go to pi over 2. Let's let x be pi over 2. That means my angle measure is pi over 2 radians. That puts me right there. What is the y coordinate? Well, I'm in the unit circle. So the y coordinate is 1. Let's see, let's go to 1, 2, say 3 pi over 4. Now we could have picked any points we wanted. I'm picking some nice ones here. So at 3 pi over 4, we know that the sine of 3 pi over 4 is going to be the y coordinate at 3 pi over 4, which at this point we should know that that's going to be root 2 over 2. Okay? So let me note here that in all these what we're actually doing is we're getting so that at power 4, that height there is root 2 over 2. At pi over 2, the height is 1. So we're just measuring the height around, as we go around the circle, we're measuring how high we are. At 3 pi over 4, the height is root 2 over 2. Over here at pi, what is the height? Well, the height is 0. Let's see, down here, what's that going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pi over 4. Well, we measure the height. It was the same as it was up there. It's going to be at 5 pi over 4. We are going to get a height of, but it's going to be negative this time, negative root 2 over 2. Okay? And let's go on around here. X sine x. And so let's say at a height of, at the radian measure, what's that, 1, 2, 3 pi over 2? What is the height? Well, the height is a negative 1. Okay? And so let's go around to here. That's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pi over 4. And the height is going to be this distance here, and that's going to be a negative. Let me keep it in the same color. Negative root 2 over 2. And then let's end here at the full circle. So we went all the way around 2 pi, and we get that the height of the graph, or the sine of 2 pi, is 0. Okay? So now what we want to do is plot those points on a graph. So let's go to the next page and do that. So plot f of x equals sine x. So let's sketch a graph. And let's say here is 1 and there is -1. And let's mark our increments on the x-axis as in increments of power 4. So that's 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, which is pi, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, and let's extend it out, 8 pi over 4, which is 2 pi. Okay, so here's my x, here's my y. As we saw, when we put in a 0, we got that the sine of 0 is 0. So that gives me that point right there. Now pi over 4. Look, the sine of pi over 4, we get root 2 over 2. Let's get an estimation of that. Clear. Second root 2 divided by 2. Now see, that's about 0.7. So about 0.7. So that's going to put me somewhere up in there. And at pi over 4, at 2 pi over 4, which is this, so this is 2 pi over 4, which was pi over 2. We look here, we got 1. So the height there was a height of 1. At the next one was what? 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4, we get root 2 over 2 again. That is, it's the same height as that one. Okay? At pi, what did we get? We got that the height is 0. So that gives me that point. At, what was our next thing? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4. We get a negative 0.7. So it is down in this vicinity somewhere. And the next one, I think we're starting to see 3 pi over 2 is going to be a negative 1. So that's going to be there. And then we're going to get 7 pi over 4 is going to be a negative, about a negative 0.7 again. So we're down here. Then at 2 pi our height is 0. So we connect these and we get this beautiful curve. That's called the sine wave. Let's see, how am I looking on time? 8:20, good, we're looking good for the sine wave anyway. So here is the sine wave. So this is f of x equals sine of x. And where this function is simply, as you go around the unit circle in x radians, it is measuring the height of the points as you travel around the unit circle. So there it is. Know this graph. For those of you who are moving on to calculus and any science majors, this pops up in all the strangest places, and it is absolutely everywhere. F of x equals the sine of x. Make sure that you can graph this function. And I guess I'm going to start a new video to do the cosine of x. So I'll see you in the next video.